Hello, guys. Hello. I hope you all can hear me. I am doing this here from my laptop, so it's a little bit different tonight, but I hope you all can hear me. Please, if you jump on, let me know that you do hear what I am saying. Please let me know. We are here live tonight. Drop a comment, please. Hey, Nicole. Hey. Nicole, can you hear me? Just want to make sure everyone can hear me good. If you could just drop it in the comments if you could hear me, I'd appreciate it. Marcia, Tim, how you doing? Please, someone let me know if you could hear me. I normally don't do this from my computer, but I just want to make sure everything is good to go. Hey, Chelsea. Okay, everybody can hear me? Okay, that's good. So yeah, normally myself and Wesley, we will do the Brand You Live, where we have people invited and we get people on here with us. Unfortunately, we are having some technical difficulties. It will not allow me to invite, and Wesley is currently working on that because for some reason he can invite and I can't get people to join. That's generally why you see my face in there with him, because we do this together. But we are going to do a live here because we want people to engage as usual. We don't want people to miss out, regardless if we're having technical difficulties or not. So I wanted to talk to you guys about, compromising. I mentioned it earlier today. Again, I hope you guys can hear me. There's Wesley. He just popped on. Manuela, how you doing? Chelsea's on here. Hey. I hope all of you guys can hear me very well. But we're going to talk about compromise, and as you see in the title, I put there that we all have times in our lives where we must compromise on something. So let's talk about it a bit. So we'll go ahead and let this build up. It's all right, Wesley. Don't worry, man. After I do this live, I think you should go live as well, buddy. Just because people are used to seeing us together on the live. So after this live, I won't keep it too long, and then you go ahead and go live as well if you can. But yeah, we're working out some technical difficulties. As you guys know, what we're doing here. Facebook is new to the joining factor. It's giving us a little trouble. I personally think that Facebook is just like, hey, you two guys you're going live a lot. So Chelsea, we do apologize. We will get you on the interview and Brand You Live, as you guys are aware of. That's myself and Wesley. That's something we do. We like to bring on guests. We like to talk. We like to engage with people at night here. But let's talk about compromise. Go ahead, please hit that like button, hit that share button. Lay it heavy on the hearts and the likes. Let's get people around the world to see this, because it's going to travel through people's feeds. So let's get people on this, that you may think that need to see this. So go ahead and let this build up a little bit. Hit that share button for me, hit that like button, tag some people in this. We're going to talk. You guys know, you've seen my lives enough to know that I can get pretty fired up, but it's normally about things that I feel like people in the world need to hear. And I feel like compromise is a big part of that. Again, shout out to Michelle Turner. She shared a video that Eric Thomas had did. As you guys know, I follow Eric Thomas. He's one of the people that I follow as far as, motivational speakers. And he talked about compromise, and it just triggered in my brain that it's something that I needed to address, because I tend to address things that I feel people are accustomed to using in their lives, either subconsciously or right on the top of their conscience. And I think compromise is a big thing, because a lot of people don't know how to gauge what to compromise and when they need to compromise, or the effect of compromising, with oneself. So I think there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Maybe it's just not Wesley. Maybe it's me, because I have full connection and it just popped up that I had a weak connection. So welcome everyone. Please understand, this is, due to technical difficulties, we had to do a different type of live for my business partner and I, Wesley Hall. But we are coming to you live here from Brand New Live. So please engage, drop comments, drop questions. Definitely want people to drop questions, drop comments. I will read them off. I will answer them. Even so, if you have questions for Wesley, please ask those questions, because we want to approach this the same as our normal Brand New Live Facebook. Like I said, we're having technical difficulties and we can't get it going to, invite people into the live. But we're going to talk about compromise, and I'm going to start off. I'm going to read the definition to you guys. Okay, I'm going to read the definition of compromise, and it's one of the definitions. Compromise has many meanings, but in relevance to what I'm talking about, this is the definition we're going off of. Okay, compromise. It is to accept standards that are lower than is desirable. Now, in the comments, guys, if you understand what that definition means, please drop a 1 for me, okay? And again, I'll read it again. Compromise is to accept standards that are lower than is desirable. If you understand, if you felt like you've ever had to compromise in your life and you were consciously aware of it, or you're just thinking back because it was in your subconscious, please drop a 1 in the comments. Just want to make sure people are engaging. That is the point of the lives that me and Wesley do at night that are, from Brand New Live. We want people to engage. So if you're watching, please engage, hit the like button, hit the heart button, share it, invite people. It's all about engagement. These things can go on for a while because we tend to have a lot to talk about. Now, as far as compromise, I do want to start on the topic that we all compromise daily, okay? Every second that we, decide to make a decision, whether you believe it or not, you are compromising. All right? You are compromising with every decision that you must make. And I want people to truly understand that, because a lot of people don't. Let me just give a shout out to the people that are here that I see tuned in, because I don't want anyone to feel left out. We got Nicole, how you doing? Marcia, Chelsea, Bethany, my partner, my business partner, Wesley, Manuela. We got Tina on here, my cousin Tavada. We got one of my best friends, Brandon, on here, aka Chais. Amanda, I see you on here. Steven, you're on here. Letty, how you doing? But yes, let's talk about compromise. People in entrepreneurship or any other aspect of life, you have to start to understand and really think to yourself about what you're willing to compromise to get to where you want to be. And what I mean by that, and I'm going to give you an example. Yesterday, I was having the worst technical difficulties ever. I would get on Facebook and it was kicking me right off. I would join people's lives, it was kicking me right off. And I started to get frustrated with myself. I started to really get inside my head too much, okay? And what I had to make a decision on was, am I willing to compromise with myself? Now, what I mean by that is I had to make a decision on, am I going to keep trying and getting more frustrated? Or am I going to compromise and just say, you know what? It's not that I'm defeated, but I understand that if I keep trying and it doesn't work, that's going to mess with me up here. It's going to frustrate me. So I'll leave it alone, and then I'll come back to it the next day, which is today. As you guys have seen, this is my 3rd live because I felt like I needed to get back in action. I needed to come back strong, and that's what was needed. I had to make a compromise with myself for that decision that I had to make. And everyone has to make these compromises. And a lot of people don't understand what it really means to compromise. We have to compromise in business. We have to compromise in pleasure. Okay? In pleasure. Think about it. You have to compromise whether you're willing to go the extra step to get someone's attention. You may be attracted to someone, but are you willing to compromise? I'm not going to go out with my friends or go hang out, for me, hang out with the boys because I'm going to spend time with this person that I'm interested in. That's a compromise. And I don't think enough people understand that compromise is really a choice, because you decide where you're going to compromise at. Again, guys, anybody just join in, Michelle, Earl. Oh, my boy Earl from Bloomsburg University. What's going on, Earl? I ain't talked to you in a couple years. Tanya, what's going on? We're having technical difficulties today, so we don't have our normal brand new live that me and Wesley put on. It won't allow me to bring in guests from my laptop here, so we're just going to talk about compromise. Guys, if you have anything to chime in on this, please address this as our regular live. You're just not going to see a guest on here at the moment. But if you have questions about, maybe you want to know how I would handle a certain situation as far as compromising. Maybe you have a situation that, you're thinking about, but you don't know how to compromise with yourself. A lot of people, hey, Tanya, M. Slice, a lot of people don't, they overthink compromising. But when it comes to business, myself and so many others on this live here watching, we have our own businesses online or offline, very entrepreneurial minded. And for anyone who's ever thought about going into business for themselves, doing more for themselves, I ask you, please drop your answers, whether it's just a yes, a no, maybe, I don't know. Do not be afraid to answer with your true heart. Guys, if you know me and you watch my lives, I've poured out a lot of me into my lives. You guys know a lot about me, and I hope everyone feels comfortable enough to share something about themselves in the comments here, or when we get things working again when you're on live. But in business, you have to think, if you want to accomplish a certain goal in life, okay? And again, Eric Thomas is very inspiring to me, and shout out to Michelle because she shared something that he talked about compromise with, and that's where this came from. You have to decide, am I willing to compromise my dreams just to live a comfortable life? Let that sink in for a second and truly think about it. If you've ever had a dream or goal to go further or do more in your life, think about the compromise that you made or that you're willing to make. Am I willing to compromise my dreams and settle for an okay life because it's easy, because I'm comfortable, because it doesn't take more effort? Okay? You should never decide that you are okay with compromising your ultimate happiness, because people may say they're happy in what they're doing in life if they decided to give up your dreams. Listen, me personally, and I know many feel this way, if you give up on your dreams, those dreams will never go away. They will always be right here, and they'll always be right here in your heart. Always. They'll never go away. But what you do is you tuck them in the back. You put them in your subconscious, and then you put them even deeper than your subconscious so you're not thinking about it. But you can never be truly happy if you've compromised to give up on your dreams. Listen, I understand things happen in life. Some people have kids, they start families. Things just start to happen in life where you have to make a choice to compromise on what you're doing at that very moment. But understand, it's just a moment, okay? It is just a moment. Think about this. I don't know if anyone's ever seen the movie Hitch. It's one of my favorite movies, but Will Smith makes a statement about moments. And I should have wrote this down, but as you guys know, my lives come from off the top of my head, so I generally don't write things down. But he said, life is not about, oh my gosh, I can't even remember. I literally had it. I went to say it, couldn't remember. I'll get back to it. It's one of my favorite movies. I will remember. I'm sorry, guys. I want to read a comment here because Michelle did put something good in the comments. Like I said, guys, engage. Drop your comments. So I'm going to read this from Michelle Turner, M. Slice, one of my homegirls. She said, compromise is the hardest in relationships. But I posted that video. Yes, you did. No one should make you compromise who you are to keep a relationship. Exactly. Exactly. They should not make you compromise to keep a relationship. And you need to apply that to your everyday life. No one should make you compromise on something so something goes a certain way. If you truly want to compromise on your relationship, to make it go better, to get out of it, that has to be a decision solely that you decide. Okay? A lot of people will compromise, their relationships to go after what they want. But you have to pick and choose. You have to pick and choose. Listen, people don't want to make choices. Some people think, I don't want to have to choose. It's going to be hard. Someone's going to get hurt. I may get hurt, but you have to make a choice. Because when you don't make a choice for you, you've already compromised without even thinking about it. You've compromised what will make you happy because you were afraid to make a choice. If you ultimately feel, listen, I'm not an expert on relationships, okay? I'm not an expert. Rory, what's going on? I'm not an expert in many things in life, but I'm learning, okay? I'm not married, so I can't speak on marriages. But one thing I can say is I watch my mother and father have, be married my entire life. Okay, I watched them raise me and my two brothers, a family. Okay, I watched them raise me to be who I am, who you guys tune into every day. And I understand the compromise that they had to make, and it wasn't on a relationship. Their compromise was things they were going to do, and it wasn't about giving up on ideas and dreams. It was just the time that they were going to take action on those things because they needed to compromise and say, this is the time I need to focus on raising my 3 boys. This is the time I need to focus on making sure we have a home to live in. This is the time I need to compromise and say, I need to put this aside so I can make sure we have food on the table. I'm willing to compromise and work a 3rd shift so we can go and take that vacation in 2 months. So we have that extra income. Everything is a compromise. Every decision you make. Because if you don't go left and you go right, you just compromised whatever caused you to have to make that choice. You just compromised on something. If you didn't go left and you went right, you compromised as to why you shouldn't go left and decided to go right. People, understand. I'm going to read the definition again for you that we are talking about here. I hope you guys are getting some value. I know normally you see me and Wesley. Again, shout out Hustle Made Entrepreneurs. Shout out to the Go Further Beyond family. Shout out to anybody following me. I love you guys. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for engaging. Please drop your comments. Drop your questions. I will answer questions that you have. Again, we are talking about compromise tonight. Okay? If you have something that you want to get off your chest that you've compromised about, it doesn't have to be too personal. But if you have it, go ahead and drop it. And I will announce your name and I will read it out because people need to hear other people. One of the biggest problems is people have compromised on being selfish to the point neighbors don't know neighbors. People in neighborhoods don't know each other. Their kids don't talk to each other. Their kids don't play. It's gotten to the point where so many have listen, I'm not throwing shade at anybody, but I've seen it enough to know that for me personally, it bothers me when I've seen parents over-compromise. Okay? Kids nowadays are very good with technology. But when the only answer you have is to give your child a technical device instead of engaging with them, to me, because I had parents who engaged with me, family who engaged with me, I've always had a problem with it. But right then, you're making a compromise. You're compromising and saying, you know what? I don't have to engage with them if I can get their attention on this device. It might be something they're learning from the device. That's fine. But understand, you are compromising. And understand, I'm giving these as examples. Anyone who does that, this is not to talk down about you, because everyone makes compromises in their life, and no one's compromise stands above anyone else's, because you compromising for something is solely to affect here and here. No one can tell you how or what to compromise on. I hope you guys understand me, okay? I had to compromise with myself when I decided, you know what? I'm going to go after my dreams. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to start my own business and build it. And the compromise I made was, I'm not going to work for someone. I know I'm going to struggle along the road, along this path that I'm trying to follow, but it was the compromise I made for myself. I decided I would rather have the ups and downs, knowing I am growing as a person, knowing I am affecting people's lives directly and helping people do more in life, than to have someone have so much control of my life. And that is not in any way to knock anybody who has a job. Okay, Gary Vee is another big person that I follow, and he'll tell you in a heartbeat the best way to start a business is to have a job, where you're getting paid the most you possibly can for doing the least. And then you can take some of that income and invest it into building up your business. And then when you have enough to finally leave your business, now all of your time goes into it. Me, I made a compromise with myself. I compromised my livelihood. I compromised my life. I compromised relationships I've had. Okay, as an entrepreneur, and many of you on here understand this. As an entrepreneur in network marketing, we compromise every day because we understand we're going to lose friendships. We're going to, lose connections with family members. People are going to view us different because we made a compromise that they are not willing to make. They decided they would rather compromise achieving their goals, getting more freedom, creating more income for themselves, to just be average. Average. They made a compromise to say, you know what? I'm too afraid of how people will judge me. So they made a compromise and said, I'm not going to touch that. The easiest thing for me to do is say it's a scam or say it's a scheme and convince myself that I shouldn't do it. That is a compromise. You have bigger dreams and you decided to be comfortable in life. You decided not to go after what you wanted because you were too worried about what that person thought, what that person thought, what that person thought, what everyone thought. The only person that truly matters when it comes to you making a decision is you. It doesn't matter. Listen, honestly, it doesn't matter. Listen, you have kids, you have family members, you have people that rely on you. That is the trickled effect of your decisions. But your ultimate decision has to come from you because you are the one that has to decide what you're willing to compromise on. You have to decide. Am I going to put my dreams on pause so I can raise my family the way I want to? Or am I just going to say, you know what? They're going to have to deal with, the struggles that I'm going through until we get to that point. You decide, should I wait until they're at an age where I can do this and it won't hurt them as much? It's a compromise. Nobody's wrong. At the end of the day, there is no handbook on living life. There is no handbook on raising children. I don't care what anything you read, there's no handbook. And you know why there's no handbook? All of our brains up here, they operate differently. They operate differently. Each child that's born up here, it operates differently. So there's no handbook that one person could write to tell you how to go about things. It all comes down to the choices you make and how you're willing to compromise. I hope you understand what I'm feeling, people. I truly do. If you guys are with me on this and you understand what I mean by compromise, again, I'm not trying to throw shade on nobody. Everything I'm talking about is giving you examples of how people compromise. Please drop some hearts. Please drop some thumbs up. If you can understand what I'm talking about as far as compromise, drop a 2 and a fire symbol into the comments. Drop a 2 and fire symbol. And I'm going to go ahead and catch up on some of these comments because you guys are engaging and I appreciate it. Thank you. Give me 1 second here. Let me get caught up. Okay. So we already read Michelle's video about relationships. Okay. Oh, Michelle said I was thinking of another video. Oh, man. You're right. Eric Thomas is bomb. I'm sure you guys can see when I speak, a lot of my influence comes from Eric Thomas. But a lot of it, it's a mix of people that I've seen because I've realized that certain parts of each person is what puts me together to be able to present to you being me. I don't want to be fake. I don't want to be Gary Vee. I don't want to be Tony Robbins. I don't want to be Les Brown. I don't want to be anyone but me. But I know that everything in life is a compromise. I compromise to learn from them, and automatically I've taken on some of their traits, which is okay because, of course, they want to pass the flame on to people. I'm not saying I'm the next Eric Thomas. I'm not saying I'm the next Gary Vee. I'm not the next Les Brown. I'm not saying anything. But what I am is I am Dwuann Clarke. I am Clarke Future Movement. I am the business partner of Wesley Hall. I am connected with all of you on my live here. Okay? I am the person that has a heart who wants to help people in general in life become more than what people are telling them they could be. That is me. I may be influenced, but I had to make a compromise. Do I want to try to succeed following exactly what they do? Or do I want to be me and build up from the ground up? It's a compromise. And guess what I decided? Just like my sign, a Libra, one had to outweigh the other. Okay? Me, who influences me? But that's okay. Thank you, M. Slice, for inviting people. I appreciate it. I got nothing but love for you, girl. I got nothing but love for you. It won't let you share. Wesley, yeah, you're having the same difficulties I was having last night, man. M Slice. Okay, Michelle Turner. I've compromised myself way too many times. I learned things the hard way way too many times. And that's a good point. You know, when you compromise yourself too many times, it sets you up to learn things the hard way. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, because learning the hard way, it does that. It does that. It makes you stronger. Learning the hard way makes you stronger. Okay? Man, I need to get back in the gym or something. I compromised going to the gym. I need to stop doing that. But it makes you stronger. You just learn it the hard way, which takes longer. Okay? Let's see. What else we got here? We got Rory. Fear that I was scared, changing to be the person, father, businessman, etc. I understand what you're saying, Rory. You know, a lot of us, fear is a big driving point, if not the #1 driving point of compromise, because people become afraid of the decision that they truly know that in their heart they should make, and they fear what people may think. They fear it won't work. They fear the complete outcome. They fear having to go along the path and the difficulties it's going to have to take to get to that result. And that's the biggest compromise you can make. Fear draws you to compromise the wrong way. But understand, on the opposite side of fear, okay, and I heard this from Will Smith, on the opposite side of fear is what? Greatness, satisfaction, achievement. When you're scared of something and then you do it and you accomplish it, you feel great. You feel accomplished. You feel successful. If you're scared to talk to 10 people a day and you go out and you speak to 11, you just conquered your fear, because on the opposite side of fear is greatness, is amazement. Let's see. No worries. I do it so that I can eat peacefully at a restaurant, which has to be a buffet, because the two little ones are always on fire. Don't stop, won't stop. Hey, Tanya, listen, I might not be the biggest guy. I'm not like little, but I'm not the biggest guy. You can ask any of my friends. They wonder where all the food goes that I eat, because a brother can throw down. I love food. I appreciate it. That's one of the compromises I'm willing to make in my life. I know my eating choices aren't necessarily the healthiest ones, but I'm willing to compromise my happiness at times for enjoying what I'm eating over the health choice. And that's a compromise that I'm making. But it's my compromise. It's my choice. It's my decision. That's what you guys have to understand. Your compromise is your compromise. You cannot let anyone else's circumstances or anyone else's choices drive or decide what you're going to compromise on. Okay? You want to take care of your kids a certain way, and you know it takes for you to dial back on things you wanted to do. Make it so it's your choice to do that. Don't let anyone get in your head saying things like, oh, that person's not a good parent. Oh, she shouldn't be focused on what she wants to do or he wants to do. They need to be focused more on their kids. That is a decision for you to make. Okay? You need to compromise on whether you're going to listen to everyone else or you're going to listen to what's in your heart. You're going to listen to what's going on in your own head, because it is a choice. Let's read some of these comments some more. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you can't tell, I'm having fun right now. I'm actually starting to sweat, getting a little fired up here, as you guys already know. If you not woke, I'm sure many of you know what comes next. If you know what comes next, put it in the comments. If you not woke, guess what? Feel free to drop it in the comments. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, Tanya, that's okay. I see you're talking about the devices with kids. That's okay. Like I said, it is okay, but that ultimate decision and compromise has to be your decision. You know what I mean? And I understand why people do it with their kids, because it's harder to get kids to stay focused. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but people compromise. I've seen it happen where, you know, the adult is sitting there doing nothing. They're not at a restaurant. They're just sitting there. And instead of engaging and talking to their children whatsoever, they just, like I've witnessed it the other day, just passing off devices to them. Here you go, here you go, here you go. And they just sit there and they're texting and doing everything on their phone. Listen, whatever you choose to do, that's your choice. Me personally, I feel like it hurts what's happening in the world today. That's why people don't communicate with people. I said it a while back on my one of my lives a couple months back. I drove past an elementary school, and I'm looking out the window, and it had to be a good 10, 15 kids, maybe more, standing around each other. Not a single kid was talking to each other. Every last one of these elementary school kids had some type of device in their hands that they were doing something on, and nobody was speaking with each other. Okay, that's a compromise that a lot of parents make. They decide that, okay, I have to compromise on if I want my kids to be able to contact me when something goes wrong, or if I want them to interact and learn from being social. Listen, plenty of the world has survived without every kid having a device. Now, I know people will say, well, today's world is so terrible. People do terrible things. Guess what? It's always happened. It has always happened. You just see it now because of social media. That's the only difference. It was in newspapers before, but you decided you didn't want to read. It was on TV, but you decided you didn't want to watch the news for whatever reason. It's always happened. It's just now with the new outlets, you're able to see it. But it was one of the saddest things I ever seen. A bunch of kids, nobody socializing with each other. If it's starting out at elementary school, they're not going to talk to their neighbors. They're not going to just walk out. You know, people have parties and cookouts at their houses, and they invite everyone except their immediate neighbors. Think about how crazy that is. Because it's a compromise they made. I'd rather invite all these people I've known for a long time than have to go and start a new relationship with people and you know, build something with them and invite them over. It's a sad thing. Every choice is a compromise. I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. I do it to be able to shower without M Slice. But that's a perfect example though. Like, you made a compromise. You got, like, you two, you cracking me up. Those are positive compromises because you're understanding the ramifications of, you know, if you are in a restaurant, your child starts being too wild. You know, it causes embarrassment. You don't want to disturb anyone else. You know, if you're trying to do things like shower, cook dinner, you need to compromise and say, you know what, I need to give them something to keep their attention so I can get done what I need to get done. Those are good compromises. And I think a lot of people misunderstand the word compromise and think that it's all bad. Plenty of people make compromises that are good, whether it's good for that very second, that very moment, or good in the long run. And again, like I said on my live, a moment can be a second, it can be a week, it could be a month. A moment can be years. I know what the definition is of moment, but when you truly think about what that definition is, why can't a moment be longer than just that split second? You know what I mean? Let me read some more of you guys' comments. Please keep engaging. Let's keep this going. I'm having fun. I should juggle for you guys. Let's see. Yes, Michelle, that's a good point. They need to learn. If you guys didn't read Michelle's comment, she said, plus, they have to learn it's that where technology is going, even in schools. That is very correct. And that's a compromise in itself. A lot of people feel like their kids do have, you know, devices in their hands too much, technological devices in their hands too much. But where you have to compromise is, you know what, I know they have these devices too much, but I need them to understand how to utilize these devices, especially when the school systems are moving more, you know, as far as technology, they're moving ahead. It's not so much in the textbook. And that's one of those compromises. But that's a good one, though. And that's what I mean, people. Listen, I'm so happy. Of course, some of the most empowering and inspiring women that are on here that I've connected with in my life are the ones fully engaging and dropping value for you guys. Listen, don't just listen to me. Please read these comments, because normally somebody would be right up here in the screen. So please read the comments. They are engaging. But that is such a good point, Michelle. I'm glad you said that. Tanya, no, you learn as you go, and trust me, with each one is different. Hey, I can't speak on that. And I understand that. I understand that. And again, that's where compromise comes in. You have to compromise certain things to learn for when the next one comes along. If you decide to have a next one, I understand that. I understand that compromise fully. You know, I was the first, so my parents didn't know. They had no blueprint. Okay? You know, by the second child and the third child, things were a little bit different. Things got more strict. Compromises changed. Things they might have compromised on because I was their only child at the time and I was, you know, the oldest, they start to change and they start compromising with themselves saying, hold on, we did this or allowed this with him, or we're not going to do that with the other. He may be upset that we don't allow him to do the same things, but it's a compromise that you have to make. Listen, I love all of you women. I love you all. Listen, we've never met in person, but I love you guys. You guys are true to my, you know, you're in my heart. You know that. You guys inspire me all the time. All the time. I hope you understand that. And I agree with everything you're saying. And that's the point of compromising. Understanding other people. Okay? We compromise every day when we decide, I'm not going to just think that I know everything. I'm going to learn something from someone else. That's a compromise that you have to make inside of your head. Because so many people can be arrogant. So many people can just think they know everything. So many people can think that they have all the answers. And when they make a mistake, they don't see it as a mistake. They don't see it as something wrong because in their minds, they've compromised and said nobody else's opinion matters. And at the end of the day, nobody else's opinion truly matters but yours. But it's all about how you want to compromise with yourself. If you want to learn and evolve by paying attention. Listen, one of the best quotes I ever heard in my life, and it's something you have to compromise on, was if you want to be the smartest person in the room, when you walk in the room, last person to speak. Think about that. If you want to be the smartest person in the room, when you walk in that room, be the last person to speak. And it's a compromise because some people feel they have to get their point out or they won't be heard. But you have to compromise with yourself. Do I want to get my point out first so everyone hears it first? Or do I want to sit back, listen, and then respond? The smartest person in the room is never the one speaking the most. They're the ones listening the most. They're the ones observing the most. Because then you can respond based on what you've learned. You can understand why someone has that opinion that they have. You can understand where they're coming from. The smartest person in the room is the one that is speaking the least and knows when not to say anything because they're paying attention. They're listening. They're not talking until the end. I hope you guys understand. It's a compromise. You have to put you have to put yourself not in a box, but kind of in the corner. You have to dial yourself back if you decide to. But will you compromise being the one that's heard so everybody hears your point, or being the one that listens so you learn everyone else's, and now you can share where your point's coming from? Because think about this. When you're the last to speak, everyone has heard everyone. And when you make your point, everyone understands more where your point is coming from because they've already heard everyone else's. Remember that, guys. It's a compromise you have to make. But that was a great saying that I heard. I've heard it many times, so I can't really pinpoint exactly who said it first. I'm sure I could look it up. But remember, if you want to be the smartest person in the room, don't be the person that's speaking the most. Be the person that's learning. Be the person that's observing and taking everything in. Let me read some more of these comments for you guys. As you can see, I am sweating. I am sweating. But you guys know when I start to sweat when I'm going live, it's because I'm what? Getting fired up. I'm getting fired up. We having fun. We having fun. Engage, 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 engage. Drop them comments, drop them comments, drop them comments. Let's get some people's comments in here. Let's talk. Come on, let's talk. Let's get some more comments read. Graham Campbell, what's going on? I don't know if you're still here. You can't find your fire, Tanya? It's all right. Guess what? You are the fire, girl. You're doing what you got to do. You don't need, nobody needs a fire emoji. Listen, all these people on here, y'all don't need a fire emoji. The fact that y'all are on here, listen, anybody viewing who doesn't follow any of these lovely people, these entrepreneurs that I follow, especially these inspirational women on here, and the guys on here, and the guys on here. Don't get me wrong. But if you think they need a fire emoji, you're wrong. Their picture right there with a comment, that's a fire emoji in itself. Trust me when I tell you. If you don't follow any of them, if you're one of my friends, somebody I'm connected with, follow these entrepreneurial women, follow the entrepreneurial men on my feed here. Follow them. You will get value daily, whether it's from a live video, whether it's from a post. Connect with people that are like-minded. Every last one of them, I feel like I have something in common up here. The way we think about going forward, the way we think about doing more. I've made a compromise, okay, to put my friend circle over here, put my family circle over here, and then create a new circle of people who are doing the same thing that I want to do, who are trying to reach the same goals that I'm trying to reach, who want to be a part of the land of the 3%. I made a new circle, and that was a compromise because I had to decide, you know what? I'm not going to hang out with my friends as much. I may not talk or see my family as much, okay, because of their views, because of the way they, may talk you out of things, may downplay things you're doing, especially in what I'm doing in network marketing. It's going to happen. But guess what? They're no less of my friends. They're no less of my family. They're still the same, but I realized that to keep those circles tight, I had to compromise and say, I can't hang out with you as much, and I need to dial back how much I talk to you. And I joined and created a new circle. I created a new circle. Entrepreneurs, like-minded people, people who understand what I'm saying. It's a compromise that you have to make. Please, I hope you guys are hearing me. Let's read some more comments, shall we? Again, Hustle Made Entrepreneurs, me and my business partner Wesley. This is being brought to you guys by Brand You Live, because that's what we're all about. I'm all good with the mommy moments, Tanya. I'm all good with the mommy moments. I got a mommy too. And guess what? I still call her mommy. That's just something in my family we do. Some people say mom. Some people call them by their names. I still say mommy. My whole family, listen, I've seen my aunts and uncles. They still call her my mommy. It's just something we do. I appreciate the mommy moments. I appreciate that. You ladies go ahead and have your moments. I appreciate that. I want people need to have more moments with people. Even though you never met someone, it doesn't mean you can't have moments with them. Me and my business partner, Wesley Hall, we have not met in person, in physical form yet. But if we allowed ourselves to compromise the idea that we could build something great based off the fact that we haven't met face to face, if we compromised and thought that way, we wouldn't be bringing this to you each night that we go live and have people on. There wouldn't be a group, Hustle Made Entrepreneurs. We wouldn't be trying to help people go live more, support people on their journey. We wouldn't be helping people dip into another, way they can market, which is putting their face in front of people, branding themselves with their face, because listen, it's like Face Off, John Travolta, Nicolas Cage. Okay, if I could cut off my face, if my face disappeared, guess what? That's my brand. Wherever you see my face, me, that is my brand. And that's what we're trying to help people do. It adds engagement. I'm happy you're laughing, M Slice. I do got a Chucky mask I was going to put on, but I ain't going to bite off your style, though. I got a Bane mask from Batman. I can put that. Y'all want me to put on a mask? If y'all want me to put on a mask, just tell me y'all want me to put on a mask. I'll put on a mask. We can get real fun in here. But this is mainly to engage. Oh, I don't know if y'all see it in the comments, but M Slice just hit me with she hit me with the fire. I haven't said that in a while. I haven't said it in a while. Listen, I apologize if your kids are listening, so I'll say it low if you got me on speakerphone, because I do want people to be able to play and listen to me out loud so others can hear me, because I feel like you guys inspire me to give value. You guys make me truly feel like I'm giving value and motivation, but I'll say it low just in case you got me on speaker. You don't want your little ones to hear it. You can bleep it out when you hear it about to come. If you're not awake, I'm going to wake your ass up. Boom! And that's what we're talking about. Bringing that engagement, okay? We're bringing it here to you live. Brand You Live, me and my business partner, Wesley. Like I said, we had technical difficulties. Appreciate you guys being engaged and chiming in. Okay, talk about, things that you've had to compromise on. Let people know who you are a little bit. Okay? Let me read some more of these. Gotta go, D-Day. Love this. Keep going. We're headed up. Thank you, M Slice. Thank you, M Slice. But so are you. Since I've been following you, my whole life has changed since the moment. Like, people, I don't think you guys understand. I've tried, different businesses online and things like that, but the entrepreneurial mind I've always had as I was a kid, but it didn't really kick in effect as this is my life and this is what I'm going to commit to doing until I met Michelle Turner. We started following each other, and I just got this vibe from her. We started talking, and Michelle Turner is, the person that really made me realize that I need to make this my life. She said she enjoyed watching me live. She introduced me to Ashley Gunther, our mentor, and Go Further Beyond, and it changed my life. It changed my life. Michelle, I could never repay you in any way. There's nothing I could give or do or say that would repay you for the way you've affected and impacted my life to make me truly change and focus on what I really wanted and deciding to compromise that I'm okay going up and down instead of just being average, making sure I have a steady. Thank you for that. True love, thank you for that. Okay? From the bottom of my heart, I have nothing but love for you. So thank you, thank you. Let's read some more comments here. Steven had to go. Thanks, man. Have a good night, buddy. Have a good night. Oh, Marcella. Let's see. Thanks, great value. Thanks, Letty. Hashtag HME, you already know. Need to make a sign for that. Gangs got signs for everything. That don't mean nothing. We need to make a HME sign, a positive sign. How about that? We got a positive sign. Pow pow. HME, we all about positive vibes. I know, the quote from Hitch, I just read it too. It was something about moments and taking your breath away, and the more I think about it, the more it's leaving my brain. When I'm not ready to say it, it's sitting there. Life is not about the moments. Life's not about the moments we take, but it's about how many, oh my goodness, but it's about the breaths we take in each moment. Something. If somebody can look that up and put it in the comments, I want to read it. Like I said, it's one of my favorite movies. I know the movie front and back if I'm watching it, even if I'm not watching it. But of course, now that I want to say it, it's not clicking in my head. You know what, Tanya? Me and him were just talking about that. Guys, I hope you see that. She said, imagine what you and Wesley will be able to do once you meet face to face. Listen, I hope the world is ready. We're going to be causing electrical interference in everything because the energy we're going to put out, it's going to cause your internet to drop. It's going to cause your TV to get static. It's going to cause you to drop calls because we are bringing the heat. You know why? Because we're bringing the brand to you live. Hustle Made Entrepreneurs, baby. That's what we doing. The one who inspires me, mommy duties. Of course, Tanya. Listen, I always tell you, that comes first. I appreciate you tuning in. Anyone who has children, I appreciate you guys tuning in because I understand that babies, or just children in general, they can, they cause you to have to redirect what you're doing in life. So I respect and I thank you for tuning in. And also those who don't have children, I respect and thank you for tuning in, just for engaging, just for taking time out of your life to tune in with me, to tune in with my partner Wesley, to tune in to Brand You Live. We appreciate you guys so, so much. Cole, Big Shot Cole in the house. What's going on? What's going on? But yeah, guys, I mean, honestly, I hope you guys got some value. I'm not going to make this as long as we normally do because this isn't our normal Brand You Live. But I truly hope you guys got some value out of this. I hope you think about what we spoke about as far as compromise. Again, I'll read the definition. Compromise. To accept standards that are lower than is desirable. They can be good and they can be bad, but you have to decide and make a choice on what you are willing to compromise on. Do not let anyone cause you to compromise on what you don't want to do. It should all be your choice. I will talk to you guys. This is Dwuann Clarke, okay? Bringing you here live Me and my business partner, Wesley Hall, Wesley S. Hall. Okay, Hustle Made Entrepreneurs, brand new live. Guys, when you watch the replay, engage. When you watch the replay of this, engage as if you were watching it live. And we will comment back. We will get back to you. But remember, do not compromise in any way other than what you want to compromise on, because you have to live your life. Regardless of your responsibilities, regardless of what you're expected to do, you can't do any of it if you don't make the choices that you need to make for you. You can't help anyone if you don't help yourself. So don't compromise because of someone else. Make compromising choices based on what you have to do and how you feel. I will talk to you guys, give you heart straight up. Peace sign. I'm out of here.